short at tonight?
Well, I think that first things first, that this is not a bad thing for us because before the beginning of the season, that we need to understand that our team still has a lot of spots that we can upgrade, and I believe that it'll all be good next week and in the future. But tonight it was just I don't know what happened, but it was a lack of physicality. They obviously came. It looked like they came more motivated than us in the game, early in the game, and they. I wouldn't say they beat us, but every time we needed to have like a breaking point to come back in the game. We made a turnover, we made a bad decision, pass out of bounds or everything. But statistically said, we had 14 assists on 15 turnovers, so you can't win a game like that.
You guys struggled shooting, especially in the second half. I guess, how do you guys clean that up? What does that look like moving forward before your first opener here next week?
Yeah, like I said, we're obviously not best shooters, but I think just the shots we were taking tonight were bad shots, tough shots from tough positions, and that's because we didn't make the best plays for each other, and we just had to take wild shots, and we missed. They had better shots than us, and that's why they made it, and that's how this game goes. The more simply you play, the more better you look, and that's it.
Is there something you guys work on from that, and as far as correcting that, what does that look like?
Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, Pope and whole organization, we base our game of making plays for teammates. So we have that in ourselves, but it's just I don't know if it was maybe lack of our point guards or everything, but they played physical from the beginning, and we needed some time to adjust to their place and everything, and it was too late at that point. So I think we're just gonna continue to do our things in practice, make plays for each other, make good decisions on the offense, extra pass and everything, and take our shots, and it will fall next time.
How do you focus on being more physical in the paint, but also not having that result to drawing fouls?
I also think that we weren't like bullied tonight. It was just, we won the rebound game. So I don't think that was the problem, but it's just we lacked the decision-wise parts, and that they made better decisions in offense. I don't think it was just purely physicality. I think we were also physical, but I wouldn't say they bullied us. So I think we just needed to continue our game, and it'll all be good.
There was only 17 points off the bench. They scored more than that. What can you do to kind of improve that kind of going forward?
Yeah, definitely. The bench was also shorter today, and we obviously 17 points from the bench is obviously not good. But I think this team, we also base our game off the guys off the bench. We have 5 on the court, 5 off the bench. So yeah, we need to definitely score more than 17 points per game from the bench, and it was just, it's on our. I don't have any thing to say to why only 17 points today, but nothing to say, but we need to do better.
Most said this might be a game that you all needed heading into ones that count. Right?
Yeah, I think so too. That I don't think we got too cocky after the Purdue win, but just in case we need this humble experience, and I think it's good because let's be honest, they came here as underdogs. We were expecting to win, and we lost. And I think that we'll go to the gym tomorrow, next day, and it's just we're gonna come hungry for the first season game, and I think that's a good thing for us.
What was the locker room conversation like after this game from the players?
I mean, since we only have 4 players that played last year, it was also like the first time that we experienced what it's like to win here. Now we experience what it's like to lose here. And just like we said on the court, next play, it's next game. It's just we told each other what we think we did wrong, what we think we also did good, and we just say see you tomorrow with the film, with the practice. See you next day for the film and the practice, and let's get ready for the first game of the regular season.
How excited are you to get it finally started? Ones that count.
Yeah, I mean, I think me personally, I think also we as a team, we were really excited for the Purdue game and this game, but yeah, now that the real deal starts, I think we are like really excited and focused, and we can be more motivated, especially after this loss.
Last time we come back out here, we gotta show that we learn from our mistakes. And I mean, he is a very positive coach, but no coach likes to lose, and especially not at home. But I feel like we have to go out there and just show them that we've learned from our mistakes. Obviously, we had a lot of mistakes tonight. So,
what's the biggest lesson learned for you? I mean, I know there will be film session tomorrow, but just in the immediate aftermath, what's the biggest takeaway for you that can get better quickly?
for the game or myself?
For the game,
For the game?
collectively.
Yeah, for the game, I feel like we got to do a better job on the defense. Our consistency on defense. We can some games we can't be good, and the next games we bad. Like we gotta be keyed in. I mean, every single night. We have to talk more on the defensive end, and then offensive, we just got to get into our sets. I feel like when teams blow us up or like trying to be physical, we should want that because we could get to cuts, we could get to back doors, we could get to just tricking the defense. I feel like we have the way this offense is like designated. I feel like we could like blow up any coverage. So we didn't get to that tonight, but I feel like that's just stuff that coming reps and it's a new squad. So it's just finding our rhythm, finding our foot.
I know don't want to make excuses, but not having J-Lo, not having Denzel, how difficult is that when you're trying to do what you were just talking about there?
I mean, we want all our guys out there for sure. Definitely is difficult with our PG1 out, and then I mean he's our starting guard as well, but he's also PG too. So I mean it definitely is tough, but we got next man up mentality. We practice every single day with different lineups, different guys in different positions, so we should be comfortable in every single position.
Georgetown's coach made a big deal about talking about Big East basketball. What does that mean to you?
Big East basketball?
Yeah.
I don't know. This is my first time playing the Big East team.
I think his implication was how physical they played and toughness. And are you concerned that other teams will maybe use that as a blueprint to kind of throw against you guys?
I hope so. I feel like teams are gonna try a whole lot of stuff, but we're gonna learn from this. Like it's fine if other teams want to do that, but we're gonna learn from this for sure.
Which one is a more true assessment of where the team is at? To be the #1 team, or lose to a Georgetown?
I feel like you said
Which one is a more true assessment of where the team is at right now?
I mean, we're getting better every single day. We just beat the #1 team, and then we lost to Georgetown. But I feel like that's just how basketball goes. We were off today. We wasn't making shots. Defensively, we wasn't keyed in. So, I mean, I still think we one of the best teams in the country, probably the best team in the country. I just feel like we was off today, and we'll bounce back for sure. Especially once we get our guys back.
I'll tell you, there was that loss early last season up in New York with Ohio State. Lost. With this, you kind of learn some of the same lessons in a game like this, only it doesn't count.
Yeah.
Is there some value in that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we just thankful it don't count, really. But I feel like after the loss, we're going to be super hungry. We have all the guys that, very competitive group. I feel like Coach Pope and even myself, we've been saying that since the summer. So obviously no one likes to lose. And I think we're just going to bounce back and use this as fuel, to propel us into the season. Next week is for real, so I just think we're going to use this as fuel.
What was the feeling in the locker room?
Yeah, everyone was down. Obviously, no one wants to lose, and I feel like it took us too long to figure out what was working on the offensive end, and it's just that feeling of just wanting a little more time on the clock. Want to go back out there, but we know what we should do now. So it was, guys was down for sure, but we had our leaders, obviously uplift everybody. It's just a game we could bounce back. We got practice tomorrow, practice Saturday, opportunities to get better.
You guys have said a few times about losing at this point and about losing early. How much does that teach you or fuel you, going forward? That you're losing now instead of later on in the season?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to lose at all, but I mean, it's better to get them out in preseason for sure. Because I feel like we just had two good tests. We had a #1 team, and then obviously a team that's hungry to, prove and show what they could do. So, just using, picking little things from each game, and just being consistent. We come out here not looking at the matchup, not looking at the team, just being consistent and playing and trying to do our things better. I would say, not worrying about who we're playing.
How good is Georgetown?
No, they good. They're good. I mean, individually they got good talent. They're physical. They run a lot of plays, so it was good.
How much did you miss Jalen or Denzel tonight?
I miss them a lot. I mean, I wish they was playing for sure. We don't want no one injured. Definitely miss them.
Feels like whenever you would go up for a layup, you were getting shut down, and you and Mo were both kind of getting that stuff. What were they doing to kind of shut you down in that area?
Yeah, they was just they was packing the paint really. I feel like the way they was guarding. They wanted us to go into the paint, and they were just packing it up really. So I feel like me and Mo, we should have done a better job of playing off too and making plays for teammates. But you know, we gonna learn.
Were the 3-point struggles tonight just missing good shots, or were they contested shots, or was it both?
I think in the beginning of the game, we was getting a lot of open shots, a lot of good shots, and then as the game started going on, we kind of started getting more contested a little bit. But I feel like we have the talent to make all those shots really, but we just wasn't hitting tonight.
What was Coach Pope's message to you all in that locker room right after that? Like, what kind of things did he say to the staff to you all?
We got to protect home court, even if it's an exhibition. We still want to go out every single game and win. And just learning from that. He was kind of very vocal on just being plugged in and locked in on the details. I feel like whenever we made a little bit of a run, we just slipped up and made a bad foul, or we didn't pull over on the weak side defense. So just being locked in throughout the whole game.
Pope said that you guys were playing slower and more impatient. What does that mean?
We was letting their physicality dictate us. I feel like we was playing slower because they were switching to blow up or screen, stuff like that. So we was being a little what's the word? We was second guessing, our next moves and stuff like that. But we're gonna watch the film and practice that for sure.
What good things did you take away from this game about this team? Despite losing, there are some good from it.
I'll say we got good fight. We was down. I feel like even when there was 2 minutes, 3 minutes left, we were still fighting. So I feel like we definitely had some good fight. And then even though we had guys hurt, I feel like we still had a really productive. Colin stepped in, he did well. Yeli did well. So we just had some good fight, honestly.
Fans have absolutely packed in this arena 2 games in a row. What can you just kind of say to the fan base that you're already used to by now?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. They packing out exhibitions, preseasons. Obviously, we wish we would have got the win, but it just shows that they're gonna be consistent. Every single night, no matter who we playing. So I feel like we got to be consistent as well with our energy, and that's just what we deserve. But it's a blessing. Whenever you come out here and play and know that they're gonna pack out the arena.
What do you think the biggest issue was defensively tonight? Was there anything you can pinpoint, or was it just they were just making a lot of shots?
Our ball screen defense wasn't good. They didn't throw a single skip pass. They didn't make a lot of threes at all. It was just all it was getting to the paint off the ball screen. So I feel like we didn't do a good job at that at all.
Is that hard to stomach as a player? It's one thing if a team makes 15 threes, but the fact they scored almost 40 points in the paint, that means they were getting in by you guys a lot.
Yeah, it's hard. Well, I feel like that's more stoppable. It's really just sitting down and guarding. We didn't do a good job of that. I feel like they was hunting the ball screen. They was hunting matchups. So I feel like that's something we can stop easy. It's way better than them making 15, 20 threes a game. So that's just something we got to take pride in.